afternoon. It's Friday, 5:30 in the p.m. And of course, this is the most interactive television show anywhere in the United States of America. This is a great time of the year. If I was living in Mississippi, I'd probably be singing "Summertime and the living is easy. Your daddy's rich and your mama is good looking." So that's called "Summertime." That's a song in the South that people just loved this time of year because oftentimes it was so hot until people couldn't do a lot of outdoor work in the sun. Plus, crops would be at the stage of having been pretty much finished with cultivation. And you just waited until time went by before you had to harvest. This is also the 4th of July, a period in our country that we revere. And the 4th of July, we celebrate our independence. That is the independence of our country from Great Britain. I had a group of young people in my office on yesterday from Great Britain, as a matter of fact, and we talked about the fact that there used to be a saying that the sun never set on the British Empire, meaning that Britain, Great Britain at that time, was the most powerful nation in the world. And many of the other places were colonies of Great Britain. So we celebrate our independence, and we'll talk about that. But I've got two young ladies, and I've got some other young people out in the other part. But I also want to thank Dr. Paul Kent, who's in the Hematology Oncology Department at Rush Presbyterian St. Luke's Hospital, one of the best hospitals in the United States of America. And it's a hospital that I'm a big fan of. I've been there a number of times for treatment, and I've also been there to work with the hospital officials. And so I'm very versed on what they do over at Rush Presbyterian St. Luke's Medical School. We have in the studio with us Miss Marie Crawford.
Yes.
And she is going into her first year of high school. And would you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and all of that?
Well, I'm a 13-year-old girl who used to attend National Teachers Academy and who attended that school since I was in kindergarten, so that means I was there for 9 years. I've done multiple sports. I do year-round sports, and I was recently I will be attending a school called Chicago Hope Academy in the fall of 2018.
Chicago Hope Academy is an outstanding school. I've had the good fortune to go there, to speak with the students, to interact. The last time I was there, one of the students had been nominated and accepted to the United States Military Academy, and the school was kind of congratulating him. And since I nominated him, I was congratulating him also, which meant he was going off to higher education learning. And I'm told that those scholarships to the military academies are worth about $400,000. And so that means that after he finishes college, he will have gotten one of the best educations that you can get in this country in terms of higher education. So we not only congratulate him, but we congratulate all of the students that we nominated this year. We nominated 9 individuals to the military academies, and they're all going to be, either they're already there, some of them are in acceptance stage and they're getting a little work done that they need to do, but they will all be fully enrolled, fully vested. We also have Miss Taylor Wallace with us. And Taylor, would you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, like Marie also, I attended NTA, but I was there since first grade, but that's only like 8 years. I am 14 years old, and I'm going to attend South Shore in the fall of 2018.
Well, both of you seem to be moving right along, 13, 14. My goodness, I remember when I was 13 and 14. They were some of the best years of my life. As a matter of fact, they were just wonderful years because I was always looking forward and not looking backwards. Now, one of the reasons that you are here is that this wonderful school that you attended, the National Teachers Academy, they also got you all involved in some other kinds of things, right? And some other kinds of thinking about education, about life, about what citizenship means, and what it means to be an American and live in a country where you have opportunities to express yourself and to pursue not only higher levels of knowledge, but also higher levels of being. Tell me what made you enjoy the National Academy?
I enjoyed it because when you walk into a building, when you feel like that you don't want to be there, there's staff members and students that encourage you to keep working harder and not to give up. And the whole demeanor of the school, it just changes your vibe. And I love that about the staff and the students that I used to go to school with, because that was something that I always looked forward to when I was attending that school, whether I wanted to go to school or not.
And what about you? What made you like it?
What made me like National Teachers Academy was, I would have to say, the staff and how the staff helped the students. Well, how the staff helped us when we were attending, like be a better person and helped us learn about things that we didn't know about and stuff like that. So that's what I feel like they helped me with. So
Either one of you think you might want to be a teacher one day?
No.
No?
I mean, when I was little, I used to, but like now, I applaud, like Maria, I applaud every teacher, but nah, it's not something I want to pursue, but NTA did help me like find a career path that I do want to pursue.
Why would you say you wouldn't want to be a teacher? I got a little book I read sometime. The lady wrote it. It's called Willie Lee. And she says, I'm a teacher, and I just love teaching. Really, I do. Because it helps me to tell our children about the struggles we've been through. She said, this story is about a little boy named Willie Lee. He was a smart little boy, as smart as he could be. And there were only two things in life that he wanted. One was to learn to read, and the other was to be free. And then she went on and developed her story. It was during the period of slavery, when it was against the law for black girls like you all to learn to read. Did you know that? It was against the law for slaves to be taught to read. And one guy who figured prominently in this period of time was a fellow named Frederick Douglass, who was an abolitionist, meaning that he fought against slavery. And he made a famous speech one 4th of July about the 4th of July and what it meant to black people. They didn't use the term that much black at that time. They called us Negroes and colored and all kind of other things. But because of certain freedoms and the works of people like Frederick Douglass, we've moved a bit beyond that. since you don't want to do teaching, you kind of already figured that out. What would you like to do?
I know I want to become a surgeon when I get older. So I want to start taking pre-med classes and trainings and stuff.
Is that why
Doing more
you?
research.
That's why you hang around with these doctors from Presbyterian St. Luke's?
No.
Yeah, well, that's a good group to hang around with. They've studied medicine. I think that there are no more important people in the whole world than people who are physicians. And that's because they can often help ease pain, difficulty, and frustration that other people have. So let's go to the phone. We've got some callers who've been wanting to get in. And since you're the furthest away from me, I'm going to give you the first shot at answering our first caller. Caller, are you there?
Yeah, how you doing, Connie Dad? I just want to tell your guests, y'all have a nice July 4th, Connie Davis. Now, you know South Korea, right? And
Yes.
Africa, right? Now, the legal immigrants here, I ain't never seen no legal immigrants go to South Korea, North Korea, and Africa. But they come all to the United States. I don't understand.
Well, James is one of our regular callers, and we always look fortunate to his call. Let me suggest that the question that he's raising is about immigration. Everybody's been talking about immigration and about children who are being denied entry and taken away from their parents at the border. How do you feel about this big issue of immigration?
I heard pretty much about it. Like when I'm on my phone, I just look through it on the news app, and I see some stuff about the integration and all that, and I kind of feel like sad that things like this are happening, because it's like I wouldn't know what to do if I was separated from my parents, and like I bet those children don't know what to do themselves, and it's kind of sad to think about that stuff like that has to happen, because it doesn't, and there's something that we can do to fix that.
I think that is a wonderful analysis of the issue, and your representation of your feeling is that of many people in our country. I feel exactly the same way that you do, and I think that your voice rings clear to other people, and so I thank you for that answer. We've got another caller. This is going to be yours. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I am. This is Ray, Congressman. And let me tell you, once again, you look mighty spiffy.
It's these young people.
Yeah, with that button on, it gives you more, you're more distinguished. I was going to talk about something else, but since you brought the two young ladies on TV, let me say this. When I went to school, I'm 70 years old. A high school education was like college. But these young girls make me feel good again, because they're not followers, they're leaders. The young lady that's going to be a surgeon, I hope she's the best surgeon there ever was, and I didn't pick what the other young lady was going to be. But never be a follower, young ladies. Be a leader of everybody. If you're going to take up law, just don't be a lawyer, be a judge. So maybe you have a say in changing things. So all I want to say is, the young ladies up there, do this program proud, do their schools proud, and stay in school, because that's the way to go, young ladies. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So I'm going to ask this young lady if she would respond to your wonderful comments.
Well, first of all, I want to start off by saying thank you. And I feel that being a follower doesn't really get you anywhere in life, because you're not making decisions for yourself. So when you finally do reach the point in your life to make decisions for yourself, you don't actually know what you're doing, because you haven't had the guidance of you trying to figure out who do you want to be, what do you want to be when you get older. So by the time you get to that point, it's like everything is going haywire, because you don't know what to do, and you have no one to fall back on because you wasn't making a plan throughout your time growing up.
All right, that sounds wonderful, wonderful, and we'll go to our next caller. Caller, are you there?
Hey, Congressman Davis, how's it going? Good to see you and hear you again.
Yes, go right ahead.
Yeah, a few things, and I'll be quick. I'm an air traffic controller, and this is what I wanted to do for many years, but I dropped out of college and went back in. But I wanted to say to you, young ladies, you guys stay in school. Like the Mexican who called in earlier said the high school diploma was really good back then. Please stay in school. Listen to your parents. Don't drop out. Please don't drop out. I know too many people that dropped out that are on the red line selling drugs and all this stuff, and then working at McDonald's and stuff, fighting, take care of their family. You don't want to be those. You know what I'm saying? Then I want to say something about this illegal immigration. These people that are separated at the borders, I agree with Trump on that because, I can't go to another foreign country and say, hey, look, I'm legal. So it is a fair system. So I want your feedback on that.
All right, let me ask both of them if they would respond. What he is saying is that our country may be a bit too open and that we've got people coming from all over the world. And some of the people who say that suggest that they may be using resources in some instances that would be good for citizens of our country to have access to, or they may be getting jobs that people who are citizens of our country could have. How do you respond to those kind of thoughts?
Well, I think that it's not fair to separate a family, first of all. If that parent should have said no once they said that you was going to be separated from your own family, because you're leaving a child behind that has no guidance. And I understand where you're coming from when you said our country might be too open, because too many things has happened in the past because we were too lenient when accepting people from different countries, and we might not have the same opportunities going to somebody else's country.
All right, well, let me just tell you my feeling about that. I grew up reading what I call the good book. And my parents taught me, and I am so glad that they did, to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. They call that the golden rule. So if I was in a position where I wanted to go to another country and where my parents were going to be going, I wouldn't want to be left behind by them.
I agree.
And I wouldn't want to go someplace else and leave them behind. So I try to live by what I call the golden rule. And I also like your positions on leadership, because I've always believed and have been taught that you cannot lead where you don't go, and you can't teach what you don't know. So you must learn as much as you can. The good thing about our country is we have a way of affording people to have opportunity to think, feel, and believe whatever they decide. And they can do that in our country, and nothing will happen to them. But the majority is expected to rule. And I would suspect that a majority of the people in our country would not want to separate children from their parents. My feelings, my belief, and each person, quite frankly, has the opportunity to develop their own thinking. We have another caller. Do we? All right, if
Hi.
not.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, this is Beth, and I was calling. I wanted to ask the girls more about their school. I heard that it's going to be closed, even though it's a level 1 plus majority African American school, and I wanted to know their thoughts on that.
Well, let me ask them, have you all gotten into that and have much thinking about that, and how do you feel about it?
Yeah, my bad. But yeah, we that's part of the reason why we're here and stuff like that. So there was this transition plan that was announced to our school about closing it and transitioning it into a high school, which means they would have to transition our little kids out like one grade by one grade into add in older kids, so add in a grade level while exiting one out. And well, me and Marie, we've been protesting and doing many other things with many parents and other students and about the proposed closure of our school, and we've been fighting that proposed closure, basically.
All right. Do you want to share something too?
Yes. I don't agree with this decision at all because, for one, National Teachers Academy is a level 1+ school, which means that we've made and exceeded all criterias.
Yep.
So for you to take away a school to be giving it to South Loop when no one of the students that y'all say need the high school has been to any of the city hall meetings that we've all attended, means that you're either falsifying stuff or you just want to take it from young black children who's exceeding to give them lower standards when they're doing their best at a place where they feel that is home, to take that away and give it to someone who is more of a higher class than we are.
It's pretty cruel, yeah. We've attended a lot of meetings, and we've kind of noticed that they said, like, at first they kind of changed it from saying, oh, the high school is needed for Chinatown, which is like right across the street from us. Well, not across the street, but like right down the street from us. And we didn't see any students at the meetings that we were at speaking up about the closure or saying anything that they needed at high school or anything like that sorts. So we found that like very interesting that we were always there and we didn't get listened to it, I guess.
All right, let me try to get this call in. Caller, are you there?
Yes, real quick. It's a great day to be on God's green earth. And listen, young ladies, you just keep it up. And I also believe what the man said to Ray. Ray, I'll be 70 in January. I went to college. I had a double major. Listen, young ladies, what you try to do is come up with some kind of idea what you want to do in life. A lot of times we hit a different course. So again, the name of this game is to make sure you do something with it. So again, it ain't nothing like education. People could take clothes off your back, but they can't take knowledge from you. Real quick question. What do you think about our president as of right now? Is he doing a good job for our country, or do we need to get rid of him? Thank you for taking the call. Let me get out there.
All right. Who will answer?
You can go first, Marie.
I thought he needs to go. We need Obama back. Call up his wife, Michelle Obama. We need somebody else because what he doing is wrong. Like, he started problems that we never would have had. When Obama was in office, everything was fine. Crime rates wasn't as high as they were now. But he get in office and everything's going downhill. Yeah. So we need a whole new president. Yeah. Everybody that's in office need to go. We need to just start over.
Yeah. We just need a new start.
Everything.
Just get them out. Just get them out.
Well, never be afraid of your conviction. Always be clear about what you believe and what you think, and you have enough information to have an opinion. Don't be like the little flower sometimes that I make reference to. People who know me know that I know something poetic that you can say about just about any situation. And so this one says that a little seed lay on the ground and began to sprout. And ask, which one of the flowers do I want to be when I come out? He says, I couldn't be a rosy, because roses are just too red. I wouldn't want to be a violet, because violets are too blue. And Lord knows a chrysanthemum would never do. So it lay there and debated with itself, this little superfluous seed, and then woke up one morning and found itself to be a weed. So be as clear and as firm and as convinced as what you think and what you believe. I think that you do yourselves extremely proud. I know that your parents are probably just as proud of you as they can be. I know that your classmates and colleagues are also proud, that your teachers are pleased to know that you have learned enough to be opinionated, to have an opinion. There are so many people who don't have opinions about things. I often say that there are two kinds of people in the world. There are those who shape and mold society, and there are those who are shaped and molded by society. And so you either have to decide or you will be decided for.
Or, yeah.
So let me thank you both. It's been a real pleasure having you. And please come back and see us and let us know how high school is going once you've been there long enough. And if you want to have a last word, say goodbye to whoever you want to say goodbye to.
I don't want to say goodbye. I want to say see you later because I don't believe in goodbyes.
All right. And
Same thing as Maria, I would say. See you guys later.
thanks to all of our viewers. Thanks to all of our callers, to our regular crew. You had some excellent questions and points for our young ladies. Everybody have a wonderful 4th of July. Be safe, be careful, and be ready for next week. See you then.